Next on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, the stakes get no bigger than at Oaklawn Park today. Can Giant Expectations live up to his name and become a force in the handicap division? Among his rivals, last year's Jim Dandy winner from Saratoga, Tenfold, who looks for his first win of his 4-year-old campaign. In the Arkansas Derby, Bob Baffert trainee Improbable will have to overcome the rail to prove he's worthy of Kentucky Derby favoritism. And Omaha Beach has already knocked off Baffert's Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner and 2-year-old champ. Can he do the same to his stablemate? Fox Sports Saturday at the races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Welcome to Fox Sports Saturday at the races. One of the great weekends in all of racing continues with the Racing Festival of the South from Oaklawn Park. We will preview the final stop on the road to the Kentucky Derby with the Arkansas Derby, and our premier race this afternoon has 3 returnees from last year's Triple Crown, returning his 4-year-olds to do battle in the Oaklawn Handicap. Greg Wolf alongside the Hall of Famer Gary Stevens, 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LaDuca, and in that Oaklawn Handicap, Giant Expectations, the 6-year-old taking on those 4-year-olds from last year's Triple Crown. He's looking to win for the first time in over a year. What's the key for him today?
Getting away from the starting gate. He causes his own troubles. 6 of his 10 races, he's broke poorly. He did it in the Essex the last time that he ran. He comes out of the 8-hole in this race, and what he does, he gets claustrophobic in the starting gate, and if they try and manhandle him in there, he just gets tighter and tighter, and he breaks crooked, he breaks awkward. If he gets away from there good, then he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. The only question I have is the mile and 8.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the mile and 8, and you look at his 2 sloppy racetrack efforts that he had here at Santa Anita. Listen, he lost to McKenzie, who was a no-short winning the Big Cap, and Accelerate, your Breeders' Cup Classic winner. There's no doubt that he's got a ton of heart. If he could ever get away from the gate, he's going to be tough. That's it. But can he get away from this group to get that mile and 8? Can he rate, Gary?
Yeah, I don't think he has to be on the lead. What he's got to have is he has a high cruising speed. He's got to get loose, be free, and he can track a horse. He doesn't need the lead if they're going fast enough.
His grade 2 Pat O'Brien victory, that was at 7 furlongs, was able to sit off the pace when he beat Accelerate, who a year later would become a older male champion. He beat him by 3 1/4 lengths. He did that on the lead. So we'll see where he's placed here this afternoon. That is our feature race coming up a little bit later on. Get signed up, started. Play all the races we're showing you this afternoon and beyond with Naira Bets. Bet 200. Use that promo code LIVE and you'll get 200. Within the first 14 days after registration, bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets, or download the Naira Bets app. Weather conditions from this afternoon at Oaklawn Park. Rain, the story out there. 53 degrees, wet track we're dealing with in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And at Aqueduct in South Ozone Park, New York, partly cloudy, 67 degrees. They have a muddy track this afternoon. Today's race schedule and track conditions brought to you by Windstar Farm, the farm that pays you back. There it is, Oaklawn, that grade 2 Oaklawn handicap we'll have for you with that sloppy racetrack and muddy at Aqueduct, as we mentioned, where we have the Top Flight Invitational. Forever Liesel, that track condition might play right into her hands coming up. Play the 50-50 promotion on the Naira Bets app today. You earn a $10 bonus regardless if you win or lose. To earn that bonus, just bet $50 at Aqueduct and $50 at Oaklawn on the Naira Bets app, and you'll earn that bonus. Go to nairabets.com for all the details. Let's head out to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Check in with Lafitte Pinkai and Andy Serling.
Oh, Greg, it's been pouring all afternoon, and just for the record, I wanted to stay outside. All right, wanted to brave the elements, and our spot in the infield, Andy Serling's fault. We bailed for the studio. All on him. Tweet Andy Serling.
I did it for you. I didn't want to mess up your hair. I have none. I like the 11 here, by the way, at a big price, Lafitte.
At 12-1.
Yep, big fan of the 11 here. Tough trip in his debut. Ran a lot better. The 2, who's 7-2 right now, he had an easy trip and finished a length and 3/4 ahead of him. The 11 will beat him. I don't know if he'll beat the rest, but I'm hoping he does.
Look at the distinction in price. Yeah, lost in limbo with David Cohen in the saddle. They are filing into the gate. Final thoughts?
David Cohen was four ahead for the jockey title. I think he's tied right now.
Having a monster meet. Monster meet
with
at
Santana.
Oakland. On the undercard of this Arkansas Derby, we turn things over to Vic Stauffer for the live call of the 7th from Oakland.
They're at the post. They're off. New Frontier broke beautifully around the dial and Lost in Limbo are close up. Here's Golden Scepter on the move, and Golden Scepter sharp up to challenge New Frontier. Malibu Mo's on the move in the center. Then comes Uncle Chad, followed by Rock and Roll Rocket. Around the dial is now second to last, and Breaking News is the trailer as they go into the far turn with New Frontier and Golden Scepter 1-2. New Frontier's a neck in front. Golden Scepter is second by 2 lengths to Rock and Roll Rocket and Lost in Limbo to the outside, and Malibu Mo. Know Your Options has 3 lengths to make up. Then it's 3 back to Around the Dial. Breaking News is starting to close now, but he's still 7 from the front. But Breaking News is on the move, and he's now mid-pack within 5 of the front. New Frontier, the leader at the top of the stretch. New Frontier cuts the corner and leads 3/4 of a length. Breaking News continues to close in the center of the track, and he means business. Here comes Breaking News from last all the way up to take the lead from New Frontier. Breaking News and Joel Rosario now 2.5 in front. Big run. New Frontier Lost in Limbo. Breaking News. Breaking News won by 2.5. Lost in Limbo was second. New Frontier third. Close for fourth between Golden Scepter and Rock and Roll Rocket.
Breaking news from off the pace. Joel Rosario, he'll ride Country House in the Arkansas Derby. Breaking news. Look at the momentum. Passing horses one by one. Widest of all, runs them down in the stretch.
And it's good to see him close in this race because speed's been good most of the day, but it shows you that closers have a chance, and that's important for the races later today.
Won a fair track for the Arkansas
Great
Derby.
trip for my 11, a good ride by David Cohen to get second, but nobody was beating Breaking News. He was much the best.
Makes this look easy. Joel Rosario has him geared down late. Breaking News in the 7th, and we say hello to Nancy Holthus.
Thanks so much, Lafitte. It is roughly about 25-mile-an-hour winds. Temps about 55. Did have a chance to visit with track superintendent Kevin Seymour earlier. They did have to suspend limited morning training this morning, not because of the rain, but because of lightning. Prior to first post at 12:30, the track had already received about 1-inch accumulation of rain. By post of the Arkansas Derby at 6:41, they do predict between 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches of rain. And as you can see, severe winds. We are under a wind advisory and flash flood advisory until 1 a.m. this evening. But you know, in this town, it's going to take more than that to keep fans away from a good Arkansas Derby party. Guys?
And Nancy, I was in the jocks room earlier today. All the jockeys essentially that I spoke with saying the same thing. Safe track, that there were no worries, and reemphasizing how well this track does drain. Meanwhile, you know who's having the best weekend of all, Andy? Steve Asmussen, killing it thus far in this Racing Festival of the South.
Unbelievable. He's so hot that he finished third in the second race today and got placed first. 4 wins today, including the very talented Matoli we'll talk about later, but he is just killing it. Of course, that big win with Lady Apple as well.
Yesterday in the Fantasy, Asmussen with 4 in the Arkansas Derby, headlined by Long Range Toddy, who last defeated Improbable in the first division of the Rebel Stakes.
Yeah, and under a brilliant ride by John Court that day. I mean, one of the better rides I've seen really all year. He's got his work cut out for him, but he's a good horse, and I think he'll run well, but that is one tough race.
But the other 3, Steve Asmussen, drawn inside him, it might hurt Long Range Toddy in terms of trip and how much ground Long Range Toddy could lose going into the first turn.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the hope is at 1 1/8 there's a reasonable run to that first turn so he can drop back, and hopefully it can work out for him. He's already in the Derby, so he doesn't have the same pressure he would feel otherwise, and I think Long Range Toddy, a very nice horse, but he was fortunate to beat Improbable last time.
You a believer in Improbable?
I am a believer in Improbable. You know, breeding is always a question, and obviously a city zip, you ask yourself about 10 furlongs, but we'll see. I mean, breathing seems to be less and less important in those races these days, and Improbable's a very good horse.
That's the Arkansas Derby later on this afternoon as we send it back to Greg in studio. You got that Top Flight Invitational coming up, boys.
Yes, we do on this Muddy Herald racetrack at Aqueduct. And right now, My Miss Lily, 8-5 on the morning line. Only try on an off track, actually came in her debut. Sloppy going at Aqueduct, and she was a winner to break her maiden that day. So 8-5 on My Miss Lily, and there she is, daughter of Tappet. She's also 2 for 3 at Aqueduct.
Yeah, she is 2 for 3 at Aqueduct. And you listen, this is a race that I thought was very, very difficult when you looked at it. A lot of these fillies in here had somewhat the same form. Some of them were better going around one turn. Now, this is going a mile and eighth, and that's obviously going to be the separator.
We have another all-stakes lineup filling the cross-country pick 5 sequence this afternoon. It includes Aqueduct, Keeneland, and Oaklawn. Sequence starts in the Top Flight Invitational. That's race 8 coming up here at Aqueduct. Includes the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley from Keeneland, Grade 1 Arkansas Derby as well. You can place your bets on Naira Bets or visit naira.com/cross-country for details as we take a look at our post parade here for the Top Flight Invitational and Midnight Disguise for trainer Linda Rice.
Yeah, you know, Linda added blinkers to this filly 3 back, and it worked the first time. The last 2 races, not so much. Got to improve.
5-1 with Jose Lezcano aboard. Manny Franco rides another broad for Todd Pletcher.
This is my selection. Todd gets underrated as he's very good second time in his barn, and I think this horse has got a big shot to improve and show more speed.
Jump Ruler is very quick, and in 7 of 9 starts has been first or second at Aqueduct.
Yeah, and very sharp. Rob Altros, a guy who works for Robert Diodoro, gives him a horse here and claimed this horse for $62.5.
Frosty and more speed, who's a 6-time winner here at Aqueduct, comes off back-to-back victories.
Yeah, another horse that added blinkers 3 starts ago, and it has improved this mare speed.
My Miss Lily, we mentioned the favorite, 8-5 on the board. It's Joe Bravo for Mark Hennig.
You know, this horse was 8-1 in the Kentucky Oaks last year, and this daughter Tappet, now your favorite here at 8-5.
And Forever Liesel on the outside, 2 starts back, a stakes victory at Aqueduct on a sloppy racetrack.
You know, she's never missed the board at Aqueduct, so sort of a horse for course, and that's probably why she's your second choice.
All right, so cross-country pick 5 starts here. Paul, what'd you come up with?
Well, listen, like I said, I thought this race was impossible. I am going to all here. When you get to Keeneland and Lexington, there's still some horses that can get in the Derby there. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. I thought it was a difficult race. I'm singling Rushing Fall in the Jenny Wiley. I know that Chad Brown's got 2 others. I'm playing with fire there. 168 in the Oaklawn Handicap. That is tenfold giant expectations. I like Lone Sailor for being the best closer, and I'm going to single Omaha Beach. I'm going to stick to my guns.
Whenever we're on, we're giving you an opportunity to compete for free in the Showdown promo. Go to naira.com/showdown to enter. You're competing for real prizes like 50,000 Naira Bets points and an entry into a sweepstakes for a 2019 Belmont Stakes ticket package. Again, go to naira.com/showdown to enter and see how your handicapping stacks up as well. We're going to take a break in the action. Still to come, the Top Flight Invitational. And our favorite, My Miss Lily for trainer Mark Hennig, 2 for 3 at Aqueduct. Can she rack up another win and pick up yet another stakes victory? We'll be back with this one next on Fox Sports Saturday at the Races.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearly manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Run Happies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Eclipse champion Blaine was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault and graded stakes winners Maraud, Beyond Blaine, Miss Kentucky, and Blamed. His yearlings sold up to $500,000, and his sensational daughter Fault brought $1.2 million at the November sale. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. It is brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Top Flight Invitational is coming up next from Ozone Park in New York at Aqueduct at 1 1/8 miles. Fillies and mares 4 and up, running for a purse of $200,000. Current favorite remains My Miss Lily. She will break from post 5 for trainer Mark Hennig. Grade 2 Gazelle winner from last year, trying to pick up the second stakes win of her career. Let's check in for more with Maggie Wolfendale.
We're approaching the gate for today's feature race. It is the Top Flight Invitational, $200,000 on the line. And they're going to contest over a track that is labeled muddy and narrow, but visibly there's not much water on the track. So we're erring more on the side of good, which could be good for some of these fillies and mares. As we'll check in with your current favorite, that is 3-2 on number 5, My Miss Lily, for trainer Mark Hennig, who is back in town from South Florida. And My Miss Lily has had one start now as a 4-year-old. And I thought last time in that Gulfstream race, where I think is a bit on the short side for her, going a mile, never really allowed a chance to run, kind of boxed in behind the leader and the eventual winner. And when it came time to really press the button, she really wasn't persevered with that much. And 2, she may have just needed the race. Now we're back to the scene, or the racetrack, I should say, where she does have her best record here at Aqueduct, 2 for 3 lifetime with 1 third-place finish. And she has gotten bigger. I wish she'd filled out a little bit more, but the 9 furlong suits her down to a T. Now, that third-place effort back here at Aqueduct, she was beaten by number 1, Midnight Disguise, who, guys, this is about the biggest filly I have ever seen. She stands at least 17 hands tall. The 9 furlongs, well, she has been successful at it once before. She'll have to get a bit faster overall as well, as far as her recent efforts are concerned. She looks fantastic once again for trainer Linda Rice, and she is third off of a layoff. She looks fit. She looks strong. Number 4 is Frosty Ann, who looks to control from the onslaught of this Top Flight Invitational for Rudy Rodriguez. I've always questioned her affinity for the 9 furlongs, but she has proven me wrong time and time again. She can control here. She looks fantastic. Now, it's a big kind of jump from a starter 16. Hard to imagine she's still eligible for those, but she's performed well with this class hike. So I'm going to take Frosty Ann here, guys, to take them wire to wire. Greg?
Maggie, thank you. Yes, she is a multiple winner at this 1 1/8 distance, most recently this past summer at Saratoga in the Saratoga Dew. As we take a look at another broad who reeled off 3 in a row late last year, but this is a big test for her.
Yeah, most of those races were on sloppy racetracks. I get it. Now, she's in the second time into Todd Pletcher's barn, where she ran like an even race last time in the Royal Delta. I just think those fractions that they ran last time, they're not going to run this time. She'll be able to stay close. Now, the 1 1/8, we really don't know. She's never been that far. She's bred to go all day, so I think she can stay on the 5's tail and maybe try to pass them late.
Started her ascent from maiden claiming last year, and then she reeled off 3 victories, and now it's a whole different ball game for her. Here's a look at Jump Ruler, and she definitely brings speed to the party here, Gary.
Brings speed and a good record here at Aqueduct, being in the money all 9 starts at Aqueduct with 4 wins. She was claimed last time out by Rob Atras. He hits it 60% first off of the claim. I know she's stepping up in class, but she's honest. She runs hard every time. So that's who I'm going to go with. She's dead on the board right now, 9-2 on the morning line. She's going off at 7-1.
And how aggressive do you expect Rajiv Mirage to be, knowing that Frosty Ann, who is very quick as well, is just to his outside?
I don't think he's going to have to be that aggressive, as we see the 4 going with that blindfold. But She's just fast. She's going to put, if she gets away clean, she's going to be right up there close to the pace.
Wolfie, when you look at the PPs, the 5 might be quicker, but the 5 can be rateable. So how does it really going to play out, you know?
I'm going to find out right now. Top Flight Invitational, My Miss Lily from Post 5. The Gazelle winner from last year, trying to pick up the 3rd win of her career for trainer Mark Hennig. Larry Colmus with the call from Aqueduct.
And here comes Jump Ruler. Back into the starting gate, a bit reluctant. Steps forward this time. My Miss Lily at 2-1. Goes in under Joe Bravo. And that's going to leave Forever Liesel and Eric Consell up to the outside stall to complete the line here. Forever Liesel steps forward and in, and they're all in line. They're off in the Top Flight Invitational. And it's Jump Ruler and Frosty Ann out for the lead together. These two clear from Midnight Disguise and Other Broad and Forever Liesel, while My Miss Lily will sit last and be guided to the inside by Joe Bravo, about 7 lengths off of frontrunner Frosty Ann. And Hector Diaz Jr. takes the initiative, opening up a 3.5 length early lead here on Jump Ruler in the race to the backstretch. Break of 2 to Midnight Disguise, running in 3rd already about 6 lengths from the front. Then Forever Liesel, who's outside of Another Broad and My Miss Lily. 24:05 was the opening quarter mile for this isolated front runner, who with 6 furlongs to run, Frosty Ann's got a 6-length lead. Jump Ruler is running in 2nd by another 2. Midnight Disguise is 3rd, Forever Liesel is 4th. Then Another Broad, she's 8 lengths behind, and My Miss Lily continues to race right on the rail as Frosty Ann has things her own way so far through a 47.91 half, heading to the half-mile pole with a 4.5 length lead. And then it's Jump Ruler running in 2nd position, followed by Midnight Disguise, Forever Liesel to the outside, My Miss Lily and Another Broad. Around the far turn they go. Frosty Ann still on top by 3 quarters in 112.91. My Miss Lily is moving now, and she got through an opening on the inside. She's cutting the gap quickly, and right alongside of her is a 3 wide Forever Liesel. Then comes Jump Ruler, and they're into the stretch, and it is Frosty Ann off the turn in front. My Miss Lily and Forever Liesel are coming, and so too is Another Broad, who is splitting horses and getting into the scene late. Another furlong to last for Frosty Ann. Here come the competition, Forever Liesel. Another Broad between horses and My Miss Lily. Another Broad strikes the front. And Manny Franco and Another Broad will go on to victory in the Top Flight Invitational by a length and a half on the wire over Forever Liesel. My Miss Lily was 3rd, and Frosty Ann finished 4th.
No.
Manny Franco for Todd Pletcher, and Another Broad picks up the 4th win of her career.
Yeah, and Another Broad, Manny Franco sitting back there, very patient, back behind horses, saved all the ground and found room. I thought he was going to run out of room inside the 16th pole, and the hole opened up for him, and she ground out a nice win there, Paul.
Yeah, she really did. I was yelling at Manny the whole way down the backside. But when the 4 got the lead here, Frosty Annie, I thought the race was over. But then I started looking back at some of the other race times, and they've been slow. The racetrack's been playing a tiny slow, and she started to get a little bit short-stepped here. And Forever Liesel starts coming, but the grind was Another Broad. It was a great job by Manuel to stay left-handed, too.
Oh, and look at those fractions. This must be an extremely tiring track right now with those fractions, 24, 47, almost 48.
Yeah.
They finished up in 139, so a very tiring racetrack right now, and Manny sat back there patient, and it paid the dividends.
Frosty Ann tried to run them off their feet early, weakens late. Another Broad picks up the victory, 2-6-5 finish in the Top Flight Invitational. We'll have the prices from this one when we come back. We're going to step aside for a timeout. Much more to come here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Still to come, 2 veterans of last year's Triple Crown back to do damage in the handicap division as Jim Dandy winner Tenfold and Oklahoma Derby winner Lone Sailor face off in the Oak Lawn Handicap.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
As a leading breeder, consigner, and buyer, the #1 thing that I look for is that wow walk. And when Always Dreaming took 2 steps, I knew that that was exactly what he had. I think the walk is so important because it really tells the true athleticism of a horse. He's just that kind of mover, and you can spot it from a mile away. I'm Carrie Brogdon, and this season, I'm always dreaming.
So my name is Robbie Hertzel. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Run Happies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So first we have a colt out of Rapid Repair. He's a really nice colt. Very happy with how he's come along as a yearling. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Another broad gets the win in the Top Flight Invitational, 4th win in 9 career starts. This one with Todd Pletcher and Manny Franco.
Yeah, congratulations to this filly by included the Deputy Minister Mare, dynamic deputy, bred in Maryland. And listen, like Manny and Todd, they did a good job. Congratulated to Medicaid Stables. Lane Stables also, and 9-2, and this horse was 8-1 on the morning line. So if you had this horse in your pick 4s and your night relay pick 5, it's gonna play a little bit bigger.
And still waiting for this race to become official. 2-6-5-4 finish. We'll get you those prices in just a moment. It was on Arkansas Derby Day 3 years ago that a young rising star broke through in that race with his first ever Grade 1 win. Since that time, Ricardo Santana Jr. has proved that that victory was no fluke, establishing himself as one of the top riders in the country.
I was going every morning with my dad to the racetrack, and look at me now. I follow my dad's dream. It was a really special horse for me. I got him since he was 2 years old. I broke his maiden here.
Creator, wow! Creator from nowhere, and he flees the scene.
It was really special for me in Arkansas in 2016.
And they're off in the Arkansas Derby. Creator is flying. Creator now strikes to the lead. Down the outside, sudden breaking news is coming late. Creator of sudden breaking news. Creator's almost there. It's Ricardo Santana Jr. It's Creator to win the Arkansas Derby. Winning jockey, the leading jockey, Jockey Ricardo Santana Jr.
Santana's one of the hardest riders you'll ever see. And he loves to win, almost as bad as he hates to lose, which is definitely a trait you want when you're competing. You want somebody that hates to lose more than they love to win.
I don't know, I pass it inside the rail when this much to run. This much to run.
Since I was a little kid, my dad was a jockey. He's not riding anymore because he broke his back. Bro, he coming with me every day to the track, and he's like my angel. He's my other half. When I was a little kid, I was a favorite jockey that was following him everywhere. Gary Gomez, rest in peace. That was my favorite rider, and he's still my favorite rider. I have a daughter now. I love to spend time with her, and I like staying home with her and watching TV and, laughing with her and have fun with her. I'm always a happy kid and love to live life.
He came to the U.S. as just a 16-year-old, and he has established himself as one of the top riders in the entire country. Last summer, Saratoga, He was sensational. 4-win day today, and he's trying to catch David Cohen right now.
Yeah, Cohen with 1 winner today. He had him tied up earlier, but I got a feeling that Ricardo's just getting started for the day. And he's got the strong Asmussen outfit behind him, but David Cohen, he's riding everything pretty much for Robertino Diodoro, so he's got a lot of support, and it's going to go right down to the wire. They've got another month left, so it'll be interesting.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it really is.
See two guys that far out in front going at it, you know what I mean?
Look, and Ricardo has grown up so much. I got the time to spend a lot of time with him last year, and he's so respectful of his fellow riders and does a lot for his other riders. He works hard, and he's really turned into a man.
That's a look at the long shot he'll be riding later today in the Arkansas Derby. Laughing Fox, who did put together back-to-back wins this year at Oaklawn. Bit of a troubled start in that Rebel. Might have compromised his chances. What do you think of his chances today, Paul?
Well, listen, whenever it's Steve Asmussen and Ricardo Santana, you have a look, but he's going to really have to step it up today. There's a lot of other horses there that can run, but not without a chance, especially with Ricardo on his back.
We will find out. 20-1 on the morning line. Meanwhile, back in Top Flight Invitational, another broad with that victory. That race has gone official now. Another broad, $11.40 for the victory. 2-6-5 finish in this stakes action from New York. As we take a look at the Pick 5 follow-along and see how it's played out to this point with 1 leg remaining. Oof. Wow, we've gotten some prices. $51,000 plus in the pool. $67 horse right before we came on the air.
Nisha started it off, but it just shows you can single a horse at 280 and still get some prices after that. Hopefully you're alive.
Well, this final race was scheduled for the grass. It has come off, obviously, with the track condition, the weather out there. 6 furlongs, main track now. New York bred $40,000 maiden claiming event, and Adios Amigos, current favorite. That's a first-time starter for Brian Lynch. We're going to take a break in the action. We're going to show you what happened a little bit earlier on the card at Oaklawn. 2 superstar sprinters going head-to-head. Matoli and Breeders' Cup Sprint runner-up. Whitmore went head-to-head. We'll have that for you next.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now his much-anticipated first crop arrives in 2019. Mastery standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Rain continues to fall at Oaklawn Park. Welcome back to Hot Springs on this Arkansas Derby Saturday. And as you might imagine, with the race as big as the Arkansas Derby, final major prep before the Kentucky Derby, the undercard was going to be stacked, and it has been. We had a chance to see 2 of the best sprinters in the country in the Count Fleet, one of your favorite horses in training. This was Matoli earlier today, going head-to-head with Whitmore. Matoli, who we thought was the fastest 3-year-old last year. Matoli and Whitmore. Matoli in front, Andy. Whitmore rolling up to his outside.
I mean, Ricardo Santana backed it down to a slow 22-2 first quarter, and they were head-and-head coming stretch. Whitmore looked like he had a shot to beat him, but when Ricardo Santana revved up Matoli and he got rolling, wow, he is some kind of racehorse. It'll be interesting to see Will the connection stretch him out for a race like the Met Mile and Belmont Day? He is very
Do you think he can go that far, carry
I
speed
don't
that
know.
far?
I don't know. I mean, that's the question. But don't you have to take a chance with a horse like this?
Absolutely. Brilliant this afternoon. Another stakes win for Steve Asmussen. Overseas, how about what Winx did? One of the most popular racehorses in the world. It's incredible. 33 consecutive victories in her final career start, we believe.
It's amazing to see a horse hold their form, especially
33.
a filly or mare getting older and hold their form. And for people that say, well, who has she beaten? She did beat Highland Real once.
Breeders'
And
Cup Turf
he's an
champion.
Easy Breeders' Cup Turf champion and a world-class racehorse. She's a wonderful racehorse. You don't need to talk about, who was she beating. What she did was just remarkable.
That was in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Yeah, we got so excited. You think back to Zenyatta winning 19 of 19, her only loss in her final career start, retiring 19 for 20. Winx, 33 consecutive victories. Incredible performance last night in Sydney. Meanwhile, here at Oaklawn, horses on the track for the upcoming 8th race, $50,000 allowance optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up, mile and a 16th. You have the 2 defections. McFeely is out. Mercer Island is out. So a field of 6 starting with Ike. First start, Andy, for Ron Moquette after spending the last year with Bob Baffert out west.
Yeah, as good as Ron is, taking a horse over from Bob Baffert, it's kind of a thankless job.
Mojo, he's fast and good on wet tracks.
He is, but he may have to deal with speed from Ike inside of him and the 8 Extirpator outside of him.
McFeely out, as is Mercer Island. Cat Daddy currently 3-1.
Good enough to be a contender, but he's 2 wins in 23 starts.
On patrol, this will be his 5th start of the Oaklawn meet.
Does he like a wet track? He gets a switch to Jose Ortiz, though.
Hollywood Critic, second of 2 here. Second leading trainer, Robertino Diodoro, sends him out.
I like Hollywood Critic. Robertino Diodoro, a tremendous second off the claim.
And Extirpator to the outside, currently 11-1. That's the field for this upcoming 8th race at Oaklawn Park. We check in with Nancy. All right, we'll get back to Nancy in just a moment as we are just 4 minutes out until this 8th race here at Oaklawn Park. Again, a $50,000 allowance optional claimer, mile and a 16th, 4-year-olds and older. Mojo at 9-5. Much more from Oaklawn Park when we come back on the undercard of this Arkansas Derby. We'll have the 8th race and then look ahead to the Oaklawn Handicap Race 9 on the Oaklawn Park program. Stay tuned.
The WIN program, I think, is fantastic for breeders. It's a really, really nice way that WinStar is giving back to the breeder and supported the breeder who's also supported them. If you had the option to breed to another stallion at another farm or go to the horse over at WinStar that has this WIN program attached to it, the deciding factor is easy. You're going to get more bang for your buck over there at WinStar.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Run Happies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Sports Saturday, America's Day at the Races, brought to you by America's Best Racing. Nancy Holthus here at Oaklawn Park, joined alongside our general manager, Wayne Smith. Now, Wayne, typically this is closing day, Arkansas Derby, the biggest day of the meet. We're usually packing up, ready to head down the road, but not today, as our Oaklawn has extended the meet. Kentucky Derby Day, now closing day. Why the change this meet?
Well, Nance, you would not know about it today, however, with the rain that we're having. But our whole goal was to get out of January. We believe that weather was not conducive for what we were doing and the kind of program that we're trying to put out. And we think that now April is going to be a big, big time for us.
All right, thanks so much. We'll go ahead and set it up to Vic Stauffer.
They're at the post. They're off. Exterpreter shows speed in the center, then on patrol and Cat Daddy, who is hard sent. Now Exterpreter will have the lead from Cat Daddy in second. Hollywood Critic was a bit slow into stride, now moves up and takes third, though, with Mo's Mojo fourth at the rail. On patrol and Ike at the back of the pack as Exterpreter takes them to the backside. Exterpreter a half length in front of Cat Daddy in second. Hollywood Critic is 3 deep in third and less than 2 from the front. Mo's Mojo rides the rail in fourth with 2.5 lengths to make up. Then comes Ike out of last place, now fifth with 5 to close. And the trailer is on patrol as they head up the backstretch with the long shot Exterpreter, the leader. Exterpreter to the half-mile marker, 3/4 of a length in front of Cat Daddy and Hollywood Critic. These two track the front runner. Mo's Mojo now has 3.5 lengths to make up. He's 2 in front of Ike, and On Patrol has dropped out of it. He's 12 lengths behind as they leave the backstretch, 3 furlongs from the money. Exterpreter trying to go all the way. He's a half length in front of Cat Daddy and Hollywood Critic. These three now going to line up at the top of the stretch. They have sprinted 4 lengths clear of Mo's Mojo, who has to rally from there, and they run to the top of the stretch. Exterpreter, Cat Daddy, and a 3-wide Hollywood Critic. Exterpreter is still in front by a head. Cat Daddy is second. Hollywood Critic in the center, and Mo's Mojo is now closing in. He's only 2 from the front. The new leader is Hollywood Critic, and now he'll have to hold off Mo's Mojo. Hollywood Critic to the 16th pole, and now he's a length and a half in front. Mo's Mojo is taken second. Cat Daddy is third. Hollywood Critic, Mo's Mojo trying to get by. Hollywood Critic reaching Mo's Mojo. Hollywood Critic. Hollywood Critic held off Mo's Mojo. Cat Daddy third, Exterpreter fourth.
In the 10th race, a reminder, the ownership of Rimska and Long
Hollywood Critic digs in, fights off Mo's Mojo. Hollywood Critic first win in 5 tries on a wet surface.
Overweight, the one slick it up, jockey is 4 pounds over.
Yeah. 23 flat the first quarter. I think the rider of the 5, Cat Daddy, his aggressive move kind of forced the rider of Hollywood Critic to get more into the race than maybe he wanted to be. And an excellent ride by David Cohen on Mo's Mojo, just sort of relaxing and letting them get away from. He just came up a little short at the end. Hollywood Critic was best.
Hollywood Critic, Orlando Mojica, and another win for the meet's second leading trainer, Robertino Diodoro. Hollywood Critic over Mo's Mojo. Greg, the racing about to get serious here at Oaklawn Park. Next, the Oaklawn Handicap, and of course later this evening, Grade 1 Arkansas Derby.
And we will have a preview of Lafitte of that Arkansas Derby. Yes, still to come, of course, the Oaklawn Handicap, our feature race. But here it's Hollywood Critic. Getting a little leg weary late, but able to hang on for the win.
Yeah, it wasn't real pretty coming to the stretch. They were all laboring. The final time, not that fast. And I don't know if the track is that tiring right now or what exactly the deal was, but that last eighth of a mile was kind of a stagger fest right there. And your winner, Hollywood critic, and Orlando Mexica get the job done in the end, Paul.
Yeah, you know, being 3 wide most of the way, David Cohn was pumping on the 2 Mo's Mojo for so long. And I don't know if he was actually closing or they were all stopping. You made a comment in mid-race, the 7 really was popping up and down. And it turned out to be a good horse race, but give credit to Orlando, who was able to keep the 7 going.
Yeah, Orlando Mojica, Robertino Diodoro, second off the claim with the victory. We're going to take a break in the action. Omaha Beach knocked off the 2-year-old champ to announce his arrival on the Derby Trail. Can he back it up with a win over another Bob Baffert star in Improbable? An Arkansas Derby preview is next.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Sports Saturday at the races. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. It's brought to you in part by the champion sprinter Run Happy. Perfect 7 for 7 in his career while sprinting. Raced medication free and stands for $25,000 now at Claiborne Farm in legendary stall number 1. Wet track this afternoon at Oaklawn Park. We just saw Hollywood critic come up with a victory, second off the claim for trainer Robertino Diodoro, having a fantastic meet in Hot Springs.
He really is, and he's been doing this for a while now. Congratulations to Orlando Mojica, like we said. This is a gelding by Blame, and now gets his first win at Oaklawn Park and his first win over a wet surface.
Our feature race is coming up next. It is in the handicap division, the Oaklawn Handicap Grade 2. 3 runners from last year's Triple Crown returning here, and one of them right now is our 9-5 favorite, our Jim Dandy winner from last summer at Saratoga. Tenfold for Guess Who. Trainer Steve Asmussen will put blinkers on this afternoon.
Yeah, and Tenfold, they are on so fire right now. Asmussen and Santana, it's unbelievable. He's coming off a 3-quarter lead defeat last time. So of course, it came back and won an exclamation point.
Road to the Kentucky Derby, final stop, Grade 1, Arkansas Derby. Who will punch their ticket? Of course, Bob Baffert's Improbable back in action. Omaha Beach as well, but a horse who beat Improbable last time out, Long Range Toddy in the Grade 2 Rebel, showing up as well here.
And I think the biggest worry for Long Range Toddy is a horse that's improving with every race. You can see that on his form, but he's drawn to the outside, number 11. And John's going to have to do something to save some ground around that first turn. He rode a great race in the Southwest last time out. He was up close to the pace, and then John took him back, gave him a breather, and he worked his way out. He saved a lot of ground and then was able to work his way out and came with a rush in the last 80 yards or so and just gets up to beat Improbable. Improbable switching down to the inside today, so he's going to get a ground-saving trip.
Well, that was one division of the Rebel. The second division of the Rebel, Omaha Beach was taking on the 2-year-old champ game winner for Bob Baffert. And it was Omaha Beach, who only had a maiden win on his resume, who came up with the victory.
Yeah, and listen, he's got the 2-year-old champ, like you said, game winner coming right at him. And you keep looking at this replay, and I've watched this over and over. Omaha Beach was never letting him by. You can see Mike Smith with his legendary left hand. Omaha Beach showed a lot of heart there deep in stretch, only off a maiden win to hold off a Grade 1 winner.
Yeah, and you know, Richard Mandela, he touts his horses when they're doing well, and he doesn't do it on purpose. He almost gets giddy like a little kid that's going to a movie or something, and he's been that way for the last 10 days or so. Just very excited about shipping back there. And it's going to be interesting. If he does win today, what's Mike Smith going to do for the Derby?
Can he back it up? Now, we're dealing with an off-track.
Yes.
Omaha Beach, his maiden win before that Rebel. Off-track, he won by 9 lengths that day.
Well, there are two different kinds of off-track here at Santa Anita and Oaklawn Park. Here at Santa Anita, the track gets very, very firm. They pack it down with the equipment. They stay on top of the ground. As you've seen the races earlier today, they're getting in to the ground in the mud there. But once a mudder, they're always a mudder, and he was loving the mud here. I don't think it's going to affect him in a negative way. I think he should enjoy it, but the mud is different. I know people are going to say, how can mud be different in different places?
Yeah.
But they are two different kinds of surfaces. And Hot Springs, Arkansas at Oaklawn, that track actually improves with the water. It becomes a better track.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to hurt him. It's listen, when you look at the PPs, it makes you like him more if you like him already. You know what I mean?
Going to be a fantastic showdown between these two. Improbable with the rail. Omaha Beach will break from post 3. That is race 11 on the card this afternoon. The popular Bankroll Builder Series, it concludes today with the Arkansas Derby. Earn $20 to bet the Derby by betting $50 to win on one horse in the Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn. See NyraBets.com for details and to place that $50 win bets. So we will see how this plays out here this afternoon. Obviously, those are the two big names in this race. Long Range Toddy back as well. Anyone else kind of flying under the radar that could surprise you this afternoon?
I like Country House a little bit, especially as I've seen the track change throughout the day. It's a very fair racetrack. They've won on the lead. They came from off the pace. We saw 2 races back. Joel Rosario come from way back, circled the field, and that's who's on Country House. He knows what has to be done, so he's one I'd throw in there for sure at 12
The other one would be Great Attempt. Gary and I have talked about this. If the track plays towards, he could be as quick as Omaha Beach, or Mike might let him go, and he could be dangerous.
Waiting to see what happens in this NyraBets late pick 5. We know it's going to be big. Final leg coming up. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Off the turf event to cap things off here at the Big A, in which we see 6 horses going postward, and 3 of which have taken turns being the favorite here in the wagering thus far. Though we'll start with the one who is likely to be your post-time favorite, and that's a Linda Rice trainee looking for her second win on the card with number 7, the Grand Canal, returning now as a 3-year-old. And look, this horse faced very nice horses in his 2 2-year-old races behind eventual stakes winners Frosted Ice and Bank It. First time out, he ran well to be beaten by Bank It. Then something may have gone wrong. Now, this is a horse that does have a bit more turf pedigree, thus him being entered for the turf. I still think he wants to go longer, but we'll see if he can close the gap here as they are loading into the gate. Now, a long shot that I like, the Grank Outsider at 16-1 is Breaking Boundary, a son of Razan de Atat. Big, good-looking horse, only making his second start. And look, he's 4 times the price of number 11, Sure Money, and I prefer him 10 times as much, but it's not a beauty contest, as the wild card is number 10, Adios Amigos. Good-looking son of Adios Charlie, prepared by Brian Lynch. His horses tend to look well. He looks strong. He looks fit. Oh, he looks like he wants the turf. So we'll see if he can run it all here on the main track. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. Final leg of this NyraBets late pick 5. That's the first-time starter. Adios Amigos for Brian Lynch. Stepping in the 7, the Grand Canal. The more experienced runner here is making career start number 3 and dropping into the lowest level yet. He is the one to beat. Larry Colmus with the call, the nightcap from New York, race 9 at Aqueduct.
Still waiting for the Grand Canal to come up to the starting gate, and now steps forward and in. Here's Adios Amigos. And Shore Money will be the last one. Completing the line here for race number 9. And they're all in line. They're off. Breaking Boundary just walked onto the gate. It's Shore Money and Nueva York out for the lead. And then it's Prince Halo who came out running in third, followed by the Grand Canal and Adios Amigos on the outside. 5 lengths back to slow starting Breaking Boundary, who's last of them all as they head up the backstretch. Shore Money in front from Prince Halo, who's a half length behind. Adios Amigos goes up on the outside, now takes third with a half mile to go. 23:01 was the first quarter. Nueva York is fourth, riding the rail around the turn. Then the Grand Canal, who's within 3 lengths of the lead and still well held. 5 lengths ahead of Breaking Boundary on the far turn. So to make their way around the turn, Shore Money just a narrow lead here from Prince Halo. Adios Amigos is just to the outside of them, 3 across the track. Behind them, Nueva York saves all the ground, while on the far outside as they turn for home comes the Grand Canal. So as they come to the 8th pole, Adios Amigos moves up on the outside, but Nueva York gets through at the rail, and Nueva York has taken the lead. Adios Amigos is second on the outside, and Shore Money is third. It is going to be Nueva York. And Kendra Carmouche with a rail-skimming win. Adios Amigos second, Shore Money was third, and the Grand Canal was fourth.
Kendrick Carmouche, shortest way around the racetrack on Nueva York. Blinkers coming off for David Canizzo.
Yeah, and was claimed first time out for 30,000. Came back maiden special weight, was beaten 11 lengths. Got no action that day. Dropping back in for the maiden 40. Kendrick rides a great race here. He was loaded going into the turn. Finds his way inside. Takes a little while for this one to hit top gear, but when he does, opens up and wins nicely.
Yeah, 15-1 on the morning line. Obviously, with the race being taken off the turf, the horse had decent dirt form, but I think this horse again will play a little bit bigger. 112 and change. The 7, the board told you that he was not live on the board to drop it for Linda Rice. Great call by Maggie saying, listen, I think that horse needs longer. And 5-2, your second choice or close second choice gets the job done.
And it's now Rebette's late pick 5. Going to come in over $6,000.
And it started with a $2.80 horse.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Here's a look at your winning trainer, David Canizzo. Checking in perhaps with the owners. A little congratulations there. Ivory Sisters Racing. Your winner owners is the Maiden Breaker. Comes in start number 4 for Nueva York. We're going to take a break. American Pharoah, of course, ended that 37-year drought, the longest stretch in racing history without a Triple Crown winner. We'll check in with him on the farm when we come back.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearly manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Run Happies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So first we have a colt out of Rapid Repair. He's a really nice colt. Very happy with how he's come along as a yearling. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
There's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and American Pharoah is putting on a show. He has not been asked the question, but everyone knows the answer. He is indeed the ruler. American Pharoah breathtaking in a mesmerizing performance as he dominates the Arkansas Derby.
Well, from there, of course, American Pharoah would end the longest drought in Triple Crown history, becoming the 12th winner in the Triple Crown. 90,000 plus on hand to see that. I happened to be there that day at Belmont. I've never experienced a sporting event like that in my life.
No, he was such a special horse, and to get as close as I got on firing line in the Kentucky Derby, and then seeing what he did after the Kentucky Derby, I've got to believe he wasn't at his best, not anywhere close to his best in that Kentucky Derby, and he just kept getting better and better throughout the year, and it was fun to watch.
Ran the final quarter of that Belmont Stakes faster than Secretariat did.
It was one of the coolest moments in my life because I didn't watch the race. I decided to sit in the winner's circle, and I just turned around and looked at the crowd. And I remember I had my phone up, and I was just watching people cheering and just wishing for a Triple Crown winner. And then you saw people literally crying in the stands, and that was cool to me. I mean, I knew I was going to watch the race 100 more times, analyzing it and that, but me just turning around and watching the Belmont crowd was cool.
Be honest, how long do you think it would be since we'd see a Triple Crown winner again after that from Pharoah?
I didn't think we'd see
25, 30 years?
At least, I think it's the toughest achievement in all of sport. Just to make all three of the races, let alone to win the three, and we got to see it with Justify just last year, so we're all very lucky.
Well, it's just a few years back that the talk at the time, year after year, was that the Triple Crown was just too difficult. The format needed to be changed if we were ever again going to see a Triple Crown winner. Then, of course, came along American Pharoah, ending that 37-year drought, putting that talk to rest. America's Best Racing reacquaints us with the champ at his new life on the farm.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Jill Laughlin with America's Best Racing, and we're here at Ashford Stud. We're going to see what American Pharoah's up to. God, he's just so calm, his demeanor.
He is fantastic. He has a lot of attention, but he just deals with everything, so well. So we're in breeding season at the moment, so most days his day starts off with a date in the morning, and then after that all the stallions get turned out in their paddock. And then once that's done, he comes in just before lunch. The guys give him a groom and clean him up for the rest of the day, and then we have an afternoon breeding session, and if he's particularly busy, an evening breeding session as well.
He likes me. He wants a date tonight.
Yeah, he's pretty good at posing for the cameras, that's for sure.
Look at him.
From the get-go, he was an above-average horse. Went through and was named champion 2-year-old, and then obviously went through his Triple Crown win, and came back after that and won the Breeders' Cup Classic, which can be known as the Grand Slam, winning the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup Classic. When you're around him all the time, you can't help but admire him. He's just such a laid-back, kind of cool horse, really.
So thanks, God, for letting us be here. For me, it's just an honor to be in his presence. So thank you so much for letting us see American Pharoah, and thank you for your time.
You're welcome. It's great to have you here.
Well, the legend continues for American Pharoah. His first runner, Monarch of Egypt, debuted at Nace today. It came on the turf for Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore aboard for Peter Brandt's Whitebirds Farm and Coolmore Partners, and it was dominant.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype leading into this race. This was the first starter of the flat season for Aidan O'Brien over there, and with all the hype that had been, he showed up. He looked like he was green. He was wandering around through the stretch, but he said after the race, he was quoted as saying that he's a Ascot-type horse, Royal Ascot, so look forward to seeing more of him.
Yeah, immediately following this performance, listed at 14-1 for the Group 2 Coventry Stakes at Royal Ascot, so Aidan O'Brien says may see him one more time before they get to that spot, but impressive debut. A horse who was a $750,000 Keeneland September yearling purchase before he made his debut. As for American Pharoah, here's Bob Baffert on the champ.
His mind, his attitude, his walk, real aggressive. Now, the one I bred is not that sweet, but it's one of those things where his mechanics, he had the most beautiful mechanics of any horse. He could just stride out and his stride, and he just got stronger as he worked. He's definitely the best workhorse I've ever seen in training. I mean, he was just incredible. And so hopefully, he throws that, and I think they'll be able to run on turf and dirt. I mean, that's how, that's how superior he was. And, same as Justify. I think he'll be the same way.
Two Triple Crowns. Of course, the first one for Bob Baffert came with this horse right there, immortalized with his statue in Hot Springs, Arkansas, the Great American Pharaoh. We'll see if Bob Baffert can collect another Arkansas Derby this afternoon with Improbable. Let's send it out to Hot Springs with Lafitte and Andy.
Greg, American Pharaoh did some of his best work here at Oaklawn Park, winning that Rebel Stakes and the Arkansas Derby. Disappointing, Andy, we never got to see him as an older horse. Maybe we could have seen him in an Oaklawn handicap. That's coming up next year at Oaklawn Park. The status of the older horse division right now, the best older horses in North American racing. We're looking for a superstar, maybe a chance here for someone to step up and stamp themselves as a legit threat in the older horse division.
Yeah, obviously it is wide open with the defections from last year, and not just Accelerate and City of Light, who finished 1-2 in this race last year, but also the top 3-year-olds, Justify, Good Magic. So many of those horses retired. You're looking for somebody to step forward. Is it going to be tenfold for Steve Astonbar, who's currently favored, or even a horse like Quip?
Or maybe a deep, deep closer like Lone Sailor, trained by Tom Amos, as we check in with Nancy.
Here with trainer Tom Amos, who sends out Lone Sailor in today's Oaklawn Park handicap. Now, Tom, he does exit a huge third-place effort in the New Orleans handicap when got away out of the gate just a little bit slow. He closed off the field and made it close like a freight train to get it for a phenomenal third-place effort. How do you see that field setting up today for him, and is the off-track going to play any different?
Well, I see a lot of speed in today's race, Nancy. We looked at some different options, and this looks like the best one for us. Your favorite, Giant Expectations, hasn't won in a long time. I think there might be a little vulnerability there. And tenfold, maybe we're catching him coming back. His race in New Orleans was a little erratic. Not to say that he won't run well with blinkers on today. He probably will, but I just feel like it's a chance. And as far as the wet track goes and the off track, my horse trains great over that, so I don't think that's going to hurt us at all.
Well, we wish you lots of luck, and also a jockey change to Flavian Pratt. What led to the change?
The opportunity. He's here. He's riding the big races. I know Flavian very well, so I'm really honored to have him on the horse.
Well, we wish you lots of luck. Normally you're on the desk, but we're glad to have you here in the paddock with us. Guys?
All right, Nancy, Lone Sailor trying to pull off a mild upset in the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap, post time in 12 minutes.
So my name is Robbie Hertzel. I'm the yearly manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Run Happies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
As commercial breeders, we're always looking for athletes. When I first saw Always Dreaming, I immediately knew he was the type of stallion that we want to breed to bring foals to market. With a great hip, a prominent shoulder, and a huge athletic walk, I knew he was the type of stallion to make his mark on the business. I'm Rob Tribbett, and this season, I'm always dreaming.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Great to have you with us. Our feature race is coming up shortly in this Racing Festival of the South, the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap. Of course, tomorrow the action continues as well with the Grade 1 Apple Blossom and a rematch between Midnight Bisou and Elate, who were 1-2 in the Grade 2 Azeri.
Yeah, and Midnight Bisou, she just keeps rattling off wins. I'm excited to watch this race tomorrow. Elate, she's a special filly. Come from behind her, but it's going to be a good race tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. You said something that's Midnight Bisou is a type of horse that just hasn't gotten the credit. Now she's starting to get it, right? I mean, she was, to me, beating Elate last time. I think it surprised a lot of people, including me, and Elate's going to have to turn the tables.
That comes up tomorrow on our show. Play the 50-50 promotion on the Naira Bets app. Today, you earn a $10 bonus, regardless whether you win or lose. To earn that bonus, just bet $50 at Aqueduct and $50 at Oaklawn on the Naira Bets app, and you'll get that $10 bonus. Go to NairaBets.com for all the details. Let's send it back to Hot Springs, Arkansas, to Lafitte.
Greg, the party is indoors here at Oaklawn Park as the rain continues to fall, getting closer to the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap. Horses still in the paddock. We're about 8 minutes out. Andy, any surprises in the wagering with Tenfold as a current 2-1 favorite?
I think it's a surprise that he's that big a favorite. You have to think it's a little bit because of the Asmussen factor with the 4-win stay.
Just go with a hot hand.
Yeah, even looking at Lee is 5-1 in here, and he probably should be a bigger price. I like Quip and think he's a very generous 6-1 right now.
Last year, you touched on Accelerate City Light, but who knew how productive that Oaklawn Handicap was going to be? City Light going on to become a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, a Pegasus winner. Accelerate, all he did was become a Breeders' Cup Classic winner and crowned Old Year Champion of 2018.
Right, and Horse of the Year any year, but with a Triple Crown winner. Listen, you just never really know. And one of the great things about racing is there's always a lot to look forward to, and there's always promise. The 3-year-olds right now, they're a good competitive bunch, but they're lightly raced. They can all improve. And horses in here could improve, and they will improve. Will somebody step forward the way a gun runner did 2 years ago?
We're about to find out. Post Parade brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating over 10 years of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. Front side, the field for this Oaklawn Handicap Grade 2 with a $750,000 purse, 1.1 miles on a very sloppy racetrack. And we'll start with Tenfold. At this point, just bet against Steve Asmussen as you're at your own risk. The guy is in some kind of groove, racking up stakes wins in this Racing Festival of the South. Tenfold, last summer's Jim Dandy winner, the current 2-1 favorite.
It's funny, with a little bit of luck, he could have upset Justify in the Preakness and spoiled his Triple Crown bid.
That is not a stretch.
No,
how well you ran in the Preakness Stakes.
He did run well, and interestingly enough, talking about gun runner, same connections.
You saw the Count Fleet earlier today with Matoli for this same tandem. Ricardo Santana, how fired up was he after the wire?
Yeah, he really, you looked like he won a Breeders' Cup race. He was thrilled.
He enjoyed that one. Turning back the ever-popular Whitmore here at Oaklawn Park as they get set to go ahead and make their turn. We will start, excuse me, with Tenfold. And Tenfold looking for his 4th lifetime victory. There he is. Strategically, where's he going to be?
I think he's going to let them go a little bit, but he's probably sitting 4th, 3rd or 4th on the inside. He's got to improve off that return race, though.
Pioneer Spirit, graded stakes debut.
He's going to the front. Takes no prisoners, tries to wire the field. I don't know how hot this pace is going to be, and I think that's going to play a big role, but is the 2 Pioneer Spirit, even with a bit of a pace advantage, better than these horses?
Luis Saez climbs aboard. Pioneer Spirit does have 2 wins on wet racetracks, 14-1. Chris and Dave, a 4-time winner on wet racetracks.
Yes, never against this kind of competition, but his trainer does a very good job. We'll see. He's be an upsetter.
Number 4, Looking at Lee, 2017 Kentucky Derby runner-up.
Ran at all 3 Triple Crown races 2 years ago. He has no speed at all. He's going to have to hope they're flying up front, and I doubt that happens.
Number 5, Remembering Rita, just defeated Looking at Lee.
Looking to get back to that good form of last summer.
Giant Expectations, morning line favorite now, 7-2, New York bred millionaire.
Gary touched on it earlier. Has to get himself out of the gate.
Quip, second in last year's Arkansas Derby.
I like Quip. I think he sits second to Pioneer Spirit. I think he stalks that one and beats him, and I think his return race, his first race of 4-year-old, much better than it looks on paper.
Lone Sailor, deep closing third in the New Orleans handicap at Fairgrounds for our friend Tom Amos.
Oh, he's rooting for Tom. Did break his maiden on a sloppy track at Saratoga. I don't like the New Orleans handicap, that race he comes out of.
All right. Rated R Superstar, 14-1 Essex Spoiler.
Well, he won the prep for this, right? And he's the local horse, but once again, he could be pace compromised.
Back to the studio, guys. We're about 4 minutes out till this Oaklawn handicap. Tenfold continuing to reign as the favorite, 2-1.
Yeah, short price there. Equipment change, blinkers on for Tenfold for Steve Asmussen. Meanwhile, couple of closers to the outside. Lone Sailor for our colleague Tom Amos. We'll see if he can get off to a better start today.
Yeah, he doesn't get away from there real good. He's always spotting horses. But you look next to his PPs, his past performances, and all you see is grade 2, grade 3, lots of grade 1s in there. He's faced all the tough company all of his career, so he's got the back class, and he is going to come running late. We've seen horses close throughout the day from off the pace. So he just needs to get away from there good. This is the first time that Flavien Prat has been aboard this horse, and he's a little bit more aggressive, possibly leaving the gate. And so another horse we haven't talked about is Rated R Superstar, Paul.
Yeah, Rated R Superstar sort of got the same style as Lone Sailor. Like, which closer do you really want to pick? They run their races upside down. They're going to come from way out of it. Rated R Superstar probably a little bit farther. He'll probably be way back. But like what Tom was talking to Nancy, listen, Lone Sailor moves up a lot. He doesn't get stopped in the Derby. He might have hit the board or run 3rd, 4th right in that area. He moves up a couple lengths when there's rain out. So I think he's a little bit dangerous here. Maybe just to hit the board and using your trifectas.
Lone Sailor, Rated R Superstar, the 8, the 9, both on the board at 8-1 here for this Grade 2 Oaklawn handicap. Let's go to Nancy Holthus.
Guys, I think it's so interesting that no trainer in this field has won an Oaklawn handicap. Primarily Steve Asmussen. He has had a phenomenal meet and a phenomenal day, scoring the fantasy yesterday and then with Matoli today. I think he's got a really good shot here with Tenfold coming off the bench, scoring that very impressive allowance, or actually ran 4th, beaten less than a length in his 4-year-old debut. I think this is a future star in the handicap division. A couple of runners in here are future stars. Him, Quip, Lone Sailor. I think these are the horses that we really do need to keep our eyes on, and it's going to be a very interesting Oaklawn handicap as somebody is going to go home with a very pretty blanket of flowers. Guys?
All right, Nancy, another look at Tenfold. Andy, Steve Asmussen never compared Tenfold to Gunrunner, but he did say he would improve with age like Gunrunner did. We just don't know. One race since last year's Travers.
And it wasn't a particularly good one. When you're 6-5, you're not supposed to finish 4th in a field like that. And
I'm with
Steve
you.
Asmussen often needs a race off of layoffs. The hope is he moves forward. I'm not going to be shocked if he runs well, but I think at 2-1, he's
Too
a
short.
dramatic underlay.
Ricardo Santana will ride Laughing Fox for Steve Asmussen in the Arkansas Derby. Another look at Rated R Superstar. Does he continue to outperform expectation?
I don't know. I don't know where the race came from last time, and Giant Expectation should have won that race. He really ran the better race, and catching Sapper Sinclair, whose connections opt for a lower spot tomorrow in the race we'll be covering, a very
That
interesting
surprised me
race.
in the 5th season,
yeah. I don't think it really leads confidence. There's just better horses coming in, like Quip.
Rated R Superstar. Wonder if Jonathan Kinchin has a few bucks on him. Told you he liked him in that Razorback at 79-1. couple of months back.
He come back. He ran well that day, actually. Yeah.
Ran third.
Yeah, ran very well. A
In
little
that
trouble in the
Razorback.
stretch, as a matter of fact.
We keep ignoring Radar Superstar, and there he is. He keeps stepping up.
Well, you know, the break is going to be so important here. First of all, you want to see Quip, if you're like me and you like him, break well so he can potentially stalk Pioneer Spirit. But it's also very important for Giant Expectations. So much was said about that by Gary earlier, and you can't not agree. It's a horse that needs to get out cleanly and did not last time, and it cost him the race.
Giant Expectations, yeah, the morning line favorite, classy racehorse who just hasn't won in a long time. Andy, December 26, opening day of Santa Anita, 2017. His last victory, as the guys mentioned. Does the losing streak, how's this? How does the losing streak end today?
He breaks well.
That's it.
It's as simple. That doesn't mean he's going to win, but he's had so many races that he's lost because he's broken poorly that he very well might have won if he hadn't. He has to break. You can't spot fields at the start in races like this.
Peter Urton training another nice older horse, Core Beliefs, with a win in the New Orleans Handicap a couple of weeks ago at Fairgrounds as they file into the gate.
And Core Beliefs is a horse who was very unlucky in both the Haskell and Pennsylvania Derby with dead rail trips. And he's a horse who has a right to step forward and be okay this year.
Post time here, Andy. Final thoughts before the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap, tenfold, still 2-1.
I really think Quip is a very good bet at 6-1, and I'm hoping he can sit that comfortable stalking trip.
As always, one of the highlights on the Arkansas Derby undercard. What a show City of Light and Accelerate put on a season ago. Which older horse is ready to step up? Time to step up in this Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap tenfold. The current favorite, Vic Stauffer, standing by with the remainder of the load and live call.
Last to load, Rated R Superstar. They're at the post. They're off. Pioneer Spirit is asked for speed from Chris and Dave, Remembering Rita and Quip. These four across the track, and they seem to be going at a good clip. Then comes Giant Expectations and Tenfold with Lone Sailor, and at the back of the pack are the two stretch runners, Looking at Lee and Rated R Superstar. Pioneer Spirit wanted that lead, and he's got it from Remembering Rita in second. Pioneer Spirit 3/4 of a length. Remembering Rita is second, the same margin to Chris and Dave and Equip. They're together third and fourth and 2 from the front. Giant Expectations is well placed for Joel Rosario, and he is fifth with 4 lengths to make up and 2 lengths in front of Tenfold, who rides the rail. Lone Sailor is next. He's 7 from the lead. He's 2 in front of Rated R Superstar, and if Looking at Lee wins the 73rd Oaklawn Handicap, he'll make up 12 lengths in the final half mile as they pick up the pace with Pioneer Spirit and Remembering Rita. These two are matching strides, and they have opened up a bit here. Pioneer Spirit's a neck in front of Remembering Rita in second. Here is Giant Expectations outside of Quip. Giant Expectations is about to take third, and he's 3.5 off the lead. Lone Sailor is moving in. He's within 4.5 of the front. Tenfold has 6 to come outside of Chris and Dave. Top of the stretch, and a 4 wide. Giant Expectations is coming to challenge with Quip. These two off the top of the turn. Pioneer Spirit is battling on, as is Remembering Rita. 4 across the track, might be 5 because Lone Sailor's on the move as well. Quip has the lead. Giant Expectations and Quip leads. To the outside, Lone Sailor. At the rail, Pioneer Spirit. It is Quip just in front and Lone Sailor. This is very, very close. Quip, Lone Sailor pretty much hit it together. It could go either way.
Thriller, driving finish in this Oaklawn Handicap. Quip desperately trying to hold on. Lone Sailor closing with giant strides. Andy Serling, I don't know.
I don't know either. I need Quip for a nice bet, but I'm rooting for my friend Tom Amos. I mean, I just love to see Tom win a $750,000 race. I think Quip ran a sensational race, win or lose, because he attacked that pace, and obviously the pace took a toll. And Vic Stauffer picked it up, that Lone Sailor was coming at the 16th pole, and they were staggering at the end. And Lone Sailor made that last move. It's tight, and horse racing doesn't get more exciting than this.
Thriller, Jose Ortiz trying to urge Quip home on the outside. Lone Sailor, see if we can separate him. I have no idea.
No idea. I don't know how to call here. It's hard to tell.
Guys, what do you think? Who got the photo? Who takes down this Oaklawn Handicap? I'm lost.
I don't want to make a call here, but neither of these two deserve to lose this race. Brilliant effort from both Quip and from Lone Sailor.
Yeah, and stepped up from their 3-year-old season into their 4-year-old season, and these might be the horses of the future right here. Quip, he was in the Arkansas Derby last year, finished second. He ran in the Preakness, came back, ran in Grade 3 to open up 2019. Lone Sailor, the same thing. I mean, he's faced nothing but the best of the 3-year-olds last year, and now stepping up into the older company, and he was flying late, and both these horses we're going to hear a lot from throughout the rest of 2019.
Should I call it?
Well, you're the best eyes in the business.
I tell you what, Flavien Prat did an unbelievable job with Lone Sailor. I'd like to go to the top of the stretch because when Lone Sailor was actually lugging in, he hit him left-handed because he knew he had to get away from the other horse to hit him right-handed to get that last bit of energy. I have to say it. I hope Lone Sailor got the bob, but I just don't see it. It looked like Quip won the race.
Quip
well,
got
the
money.
racetrack following
They're
around
it
Quip
right now.
And it is Quip who has been posted by a hair as your winner. We'll get a look at that photo, assuming we can here before we sign off. But what a finish and what a great run from off the pace and having to go wide here from Lone Sailor.
Well, I want you to look Lone Sailor way on the outside here, Gary. Now watch, he starts lugging in just a tiny bit when Flavien goes right-handed. Now he has to get him away from the other horse because he knows that he's moving right-handed and he needs to get that extra pump out of him here late. And he does, and he almost got there.
Yeah, he really fired in the last 50 yards here, and Jose Ortiz, he was staying busy on Quip. He was left-handed, he was right-handed, he was straightforward. He got the bob at the finish, and congratulations to the connections of Quip. Well-deserved, hard-earned victory.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Derby winner from last year was second in the Arkansas Derby, and then we saw him in the Triple Crown Trail in the Preakness, where he was a non-factor, but it looks like as a 4-year-old, he has come back better than ever. Quip returns $13 for the win for WinStar China Horse Racing Club and SF Racing, and Jose Ortiz aboard for the victory.
And Quip last year, I think he was going through a growing spree at the latter part of last year. He was raced sparingly and kind of tailed off a little bit, and now we can look forward to a more mature Quip as well as Lone Sailor.
Yeah, and the point that you make is so great. He's only had 7 career starts. Like, he's got so much more to improve. And like, you know, Rodolphe Brissett, let's start putting him on the map. This guy can train, flat out train.
Former trainer of Billy Mott. You're not an assistant trainer for Billy Mott if you're not a horseman.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
So Quip making his presence felt here in the handicap division. Lone Sailor in defeat, not by much here. That he lost this race here, but another horse who looks like his best is yet to come as a 4-year-old.
Yeah, and maybe a 1 1/4 is going to be in his wheelhouse. It sure would have been today. He was slowly getting there. And Quip, he looks like he'll go on to get a 1 1/4 as well.
He's got $1 million in his bank account. I'm sure that Tom's happy. Listen. You don't want to lose by a dirty nose like that, but Lone Sailor ran a heck of a race.
Asked you to make a call on that photo. You didn't do it for us. Make a call in the Arkansas Derby.
I think Omaha Beach wins the race.
Really?
I really do. But I tell you right now, everybody keeps saying Long Range Toddy doesn't get enough. He's a good horse.
I think we're going to see a photo finish just like we did with Long Range Toddy and Omaha Beach. That's my prediction.
We shall see. Can Improbable get it done for Baffert? He is loaded already. Can it get his 3rd runner to the Derby this year? We will see you tomorrow, back on Sunday with the Apple Blossom.